You're listening to the L.I.F podcast with Pat. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the L.I.F podcast with Pat. I'm your host, Patrick Richard, 8-year pro overseas, and today I got a special guest, man. One of my closest friends, a brother that I gained from being a former teammate with, current pro overseas as well, Diego Kapelan. What's good, bro?
What's going on, bro? Man, same old, like everybody else, just chilling and trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah, man, I know it. Crazy times, bro. It's not even, you can't really explain it, man, but that's good to see, you're safe and everything good, man. Give the viewers and the listeners, man, just a little introduction to yourself, man, like, where you're from and stuff like that.
Man, I can never just, tell, people like in one sentence. I was born in, former Yugoslavia. We had the war, and then my family, we moved to Canada. So I grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada, and then went to high school up there. And then after high school, basically, went to McNeese State University, where we played together, and then basically just been kind of made, Lake Charles, Louisiana, my home now. So basically, since I was like 18, 19, been down here most of the time, and then just finished up my 9th season as a pro. Been all over. It's been a crazy ride. Just been, Germany, Greece, Cyprus, Austria, Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Bosnia. Yeah, basically, I think I named them all. If I left anybody out, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, hey, bro, that's good, man. You've been around, a minute, man, and like you said, we was blessed to be teammates and stuff like that, and I never take that for granted, bro.
For sure.
But talk about like
here.
when okay, you didn't grow up in Bosnia, but you're from there.
Yeah.
And you went to Canada, and I saw you was just killing it in high school there. At the King George or something like that. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. King George Secondary School.
So how did that happen with you going to McNeese though? Like you played there. I don't understand how. Like for me, I don't know how you get really seeing the place and stuff. So explain that a little bit.
Man, it's like basically the whole McNeese thing was just, man, it just had to have been, fate or God or whatever, because at that time I had finished up high school. I had some academic troubles. So it was, I was going to go to prep school. There was a prep school in like Philadelphia, and then like that kind of fell through in the last minute. And then I was just basically back home in Vancouver, just trying to finish up, like improve my grades. Because I wasn't eligible at the time, to go D1. So it was I was doing homeschool and stuff, like correspondence, and just hooping around the city, like just everywhere, like every single open gym, no matter where they were hooping, like I would just, I would get on the bus and boom, like I knew the bus routes, all the buses, everything, like the back of my hand, like just to get to no matter where, hour away, like boom, I was public transportation. So I'm going to a men's league game one day, and I'm supposed to meet this dude that I was always busting with him. His name is Jamal. He like made the league, so we just meet up, boom, bus up there, and I'm waiting at the bus stop for Jamal, and then he doesn't show up, but this dude Chris Shields is there, and Chris is like, everybody knows he's like, the cousin of Joe Dumars. I never really even had like a conversation like that with him, like, it was always just like, hey, what's up, we're always cool, cordial, and then we were on the bus, and I guess it was maybe just to spark up a convo. He was like, man, what are you doing next year? And I was like, man, I don't even know. Like, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I got this prep school stuff. It fell through. And it was like, so I was like, man, I don't know what to do. And he was like, look, like, my cousin, David Dumars, he's like, the head assistant at McNeese State University, like, and they could use a shooter. I can't promise anything, but, get hundreds of tapes, every day, but he'll watch your tape for sure. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll take that chance. Like, so boom, gave him my highlight tape. A few weeks goes by, and then, we live in Canada, so the English accent is like way different than the South. So my mom was like, that's when we had home phones. So we had like the answering machine, and mom was like, Diego, come listen to this message. I think it's for you. So I was like, I don't know, man, you can shoot that thing. I was like, you said that you could shoot that thing, so it's got to be the coach. I didn't understand a word except, like, I promise you, all I understood was shoot that thing. And I was like, yeah, that's got to be for me. Like,
Yeah.
got to be Coach Dumars. So, boom, called him. We talked. Yeah, that was basically it, man. Like, just a guy up in Vancouver, I guess, he just, wanted to help someone out. And everything, worked out basically perfectly, like it's a crazy story. Like, it just like
Yeah.
whatever luck, fate, God, whatever people want to use, word you want to use, like it just like aligned up perfectly for me. And came down here, sat out my first year, which I think really helped me. I think for a lot of Canadian players, like especially back then, you always need like a little bit of adjustment period because like the game is like a lot faster. The guys are more athletic in the States. And I mean, especially going from like Canada, like to the South, like, down here, there's like a lot of crazy athletes. They just,
Yeah. Exactly.
it's like, man, it's just a different world. So it's like, I really needed that 1 year just to sit out and just to hoop. And then just for my game to adjust, So after that, like adjustment period, everything I was doing, back home was basically just starting to transfer over down here.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, man, we went, did our thing, won the championship.
Hey, bro. Hey, to talk about that, let's talk a little bit about that season, because man,
All right.
it wasn't so sweet the first couple of years. You know what I'm saying? We was, especially when I first got there, we was struggling, man. And I never forget, we all literally sat down and looked all at each other. It was like, look, you know what? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's going away. We all going to summer school, and we all about every single day. We all about to be in the gym. And it's so crazy how it worked out, because we went from, I think, winning, it was 10, 11 games to winning like 20, 21, 22 games the next season.
Yeah.
Winning the league. And I mean, that's something I'll never forget. And I know you won't either.
Man, same here. Those hoop sessions were, man, we went at it. It just, you're like, we kind of had to change the culture. Like, it was more like, like guys, if they didn't really want to do workouts or hoop or whatever, they weren't going to come. So it was just like, we had to, the culture changed. I think there's no secret to like life or whatever. I mean, some people are just, more naturally talented or blessed, some things come easier to them. But man, like if you work hard, like everybody worked hard that summer, every single person, like, so everybody went to weights, we hooped every day, like we pushed each other, like, like damn, you're getting into fights, but it was all just, like, that's what you need. Like if everything's perfect, like it can't be perfect, you gotta to compete, and you've got to be, the level's got to be turned up, so and we always had talent at McNeese. That's the thing, we could just never figure out like what it was, like how to put it together, like, and then I think just, guys just, man, like really like college, you don't really get it that much in the pros, but just like the brotherhood, I think and at that point, like we had a bunch of seniors, and you were a junior, and then I think everything was kind of perfect timing. Like,
bro,
at that point, we were all like close.
We had that core that kind of stayed together, because of course we lost some guys, you know what I'm saying, got either transferred or left the team or dismissed from the team, whatever it was. But that same core, me, you, PJ, Preston, Ziggy, CJ, Steph, we all like had that same core together, and then we added a couple young guys that was hungry. So like it just meshed at the right time. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how it worked, man. Because you said we always had talent, but it was just something we was missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was just a little something, and that's like just life. Like you could be playing in somewhere overseas, and you're missing just a little bit to your game, and you could be who knows where, and like there's some guys that are crazy athletic, and if they could just shoot a 3-pointer, they'd be in the league. And then, they add a three, just a catch and shoot three. And the next thing, dudes are playing, you just get a chance. So it's like, man, it's just little bit separates you, from not making a tournament to being a champion, like, so it's like, it's just crazy. But man, we worked our butts off. Like, I'll never forget that summer. Like, I still be, when I'm here in Lake Charles, or like when we used to hoop at McNeese in the back gym, like I'd just be like, man, like, what I would do to get that type of like atmosphere again in the summer. It's hard to get, runs like that unless you go to like a certain place, where guys are working out and everybody's pros. But man, it's definitely missing that for sure.
Man, I agree, man. I agree. So we have all this success, uh, then after that you turn pro. And I mean, like you said, you've been in a bunch of different countries.
Yeah.
But just maybe one or two places that really highlight or really, bring you some great memories, man. Because I mean, like people don't realize, man, sometimes you go places, you might have late money, you might have the conditions might not be the best, especially when you
Mhm.
first starting out as a pro. You gotta like
Mhm.
sometimes bite the bullet and just kind of go anywhere
Yeah.
just to get your feet
Yeah.
wet. Um, so just talk about maybe a couple places. I probably know a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mhm.
always followed your
Yeah, yeah,
career.
yeah.
But just a couple places you really enjoyed, man, and just some pros and cons of different things.
Man, I would say top of my mind, it was 2 years ago, in Spain in Melilla, and Leb Gold, when we went to the finals and, lost to Manresa in the fifths of a best of five, I mean, it still hurts that we lost, but just that year, like, um, man, like we just knew, like, like Melilla and Lev Gold would always have, like really good teams. Um, but that year, like people were like, "Oh, just not as strong as other years." Da, 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 da. But like I'm in practice every day, and like I've been on other teams in that league, and everybody knows everybody in that league. I'm like, man, we have a nice team. Like sometimes we'll win like 4 games, and we lose like 1 or 2, and then and people were like, "Oh, we're not gonna be able to win a championship," because they always want to win a championship. But we're not gonna, we're not gonna do well this year. And I was like telling people, I was like, "Watch, like we're gonna go to the finals," like and they're like, "Oh, I don't know," I'm like, "Just watch." And then everything just clicked. Like everybody, guys like figured out their roles, and that was big. Like being on a team that you have 10 guys that could be the go-to guy in any other team in the league, and you put 10 of them all on the same team. It just takes time to figure it out. So guys figured out their roles. Like uh, like tone down their egos a little bit, and then like that's when we started playing really well, especially in the playoffs. Because you get to the playoffs, and at that time, then it's just like it's just about let's win, man. Like,
Yeah, the heck with
everybody's
the stats, man.
tired.
It don't
Yeah,
matter,
the
bro.
stat stuff is just like, man, all that matters is like if you if you're on fire, bro, like get that dude, whoever's on fire, get him the ball. And luckily, like I just caught like a really good rhythm in the playoffs, and man, and we went to the finals, and it was just like we had a great leader, our team captain. Man, he just led by example. Like he first one on, loose ball, he's first on the ground. Like he was just a warrior, man. And it was just like I think that's what like every team needs a guy like that, and especially if he's going to be the the captain of the team, and he's the first one on the ground for a loose ball. He's always going to make an extra pass. He's always going to try to play defense on other team's best player. And I just like look back and I'm like, man, I got so many good memories. And then like it's kind of hard thinking about like I'm like, man, like I could go back to that place and like you have so many good memories, but it was like the people that made the
Yeah.
memories. Like nobody's there anymore basically. So it's
Oh,
just
okay.
like it's crazy, with like overseas basketball. It's like you'll have a good memory from a certain place and like you look at it now and it's like, oh man, like nobody's there no more. Like
Yeah.
it's not to you, it's like so special, but it's not even, it's so
It's
different.
so much change happened. Like
Yeah.
the only teams you see that normally consistently keeping guys is those big EuroLeague teams that just got the
Yeah,
money
yeah,
to do it.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
when it's a smaller team or maybe like like you say second division layup gold,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's tough to keep that same core. But the teams that do somehow do that, that's the ones that's always winning.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Exactly, exactly. Because it's crucial, man, just to have that continuity and guys have chemistry together. Um, but yeah, I'd say that's like the first place that sticks out in my mind. And second, I think like um, I played like a little bit in Pro A Germany. I went twice for like a few months, and that place is just like it was Essen, ETB Wambau. They don't even exist anymore. They finally, they had some trouble and then they, closed the team down. But it was just I came in both times like at the end, the deadline, like the end of January, and it was like, all right, we're fighting to stay in the league, and it's like, okay, how many games we got to win, to make playoffs? And it was like the first time I went, it was like, oh, we got to win 8 of 10 to make it, and I was like, okay, cool. And then like we won like 5 or 6 in a row, and then finally the last game we won 8 out of 10, and then made the playoffs. And the second time it was like the same type of thing, maybe even worse. Like then we won like 9 out of the last 11 and made the playoffs. So it was like, um, man, it's hard to come into a team at that point, like where it's almost at the end of a season, and it's just to be like like welcomed in and like, okay, like, like, oh, here, here's the ball, like,
Yeah.
because guys have been already there, almost all year, and like just to be able just to come in and to have like a major role, it was just like special, just like guys accepting you and making you feel like part of the team from like day one. So I'd say those two places for me stick
Mhm.
out the most. I mean, I don't want to take nothing away from anywhere else I played. Like almost all the places I played, like the fans have been good. Like almost every club's, treated me pretty well. So I don't want to like, leave anyone out. But the
No,
two
of
most
course, of
special,
course.
yeah, two most special for me are those like, you know, um,
Those two
and then
places.
there's been some rough times too. So yeah, there's been a few rough places. So it's, I don't know if you want to talk about that. I don't
You
want to
know?
put teams
Man.
on public blast, but man, it is what it is. Everybody knows. Whoever's listening to this podcast is gonna know. There's rough places, good places. So it's just how the game
Exactly.
goes. Like it's just the
No, I
game.
know.
Like
I know all too well, man.
yeah,
Had some tough, rough
yeah,
situations, man.
yeah. It's a
But
bad game.
bro, crazy, man. So we got like a few, extra questions, man. Like some little hot take
Yeah,
questions you
yeah.
can say. So
Okay, okay.
the first one, like if you can give some advice, to some kids that's coming up trying to play, man, because I know you personally, bro, and I know like
Mhm.
I ain't never seen nobody work harder. Like as far as
Mhm.
getting in the gym, I mean, nonstop, bro. And like I think I told you this, bro. You the reason why I work as hard as I do because I saw how you was doing. You like showed me the way, like you really did. Because I was
Man.
always talented, man, but I never like coming from a small town in Louisiana in Caron Crow, man. I mean, we played basketball, but basketball wasn't even the sport, man. It was football.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I just went off of talent, and it wasn't working like I should have. And then when I saw
Mhm.
you, it made me like step it up a whole level because I'm like, dang, my other guard right on the side of me, man, is grinding like crazy,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing the results because he's a sniper, bro. So any advice you got for some kids to become like I consider you an elite shooter. So any
Mhm.
advice, for the kids is probably real simple, but any advice?
Yeah. I mean, hard work. It's like I can't give no like as far as shooting and stuff like that. It's like everybody shoots differently. Like everybody's bodies are different. Everybody's arms are different lengths. Hands are different. Sizes. Like things like that. Is like there's so many things. Like I can't just be like, oh, 90 degrees. Da 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 da.
Yeah,
Like the typical. So I would say like it's just repetition, and then just try to make like every time you miss a shot, every time you make a shot, it's just like take mental notes. Like I'd say like it's really good. Of course, like work on your like physical ability is like really important. Make sure you're athletic and all that stuff. But I think like a big thing for kids in like developing is like a mental game. Like just try to take mental notes of stuff. When you miss, when you make, like just how the ball, how the basketball felt like leaving your hand, when you made or missed, and just try to repeat that as many times, and then same with everything, like even if you're working on moves, like go-to moves and stuff like that, like just try to get a feel for the basketball and like what you did or like, like to make it work and like what didn't, and then make those adjustments. And then just like, especially advice, just like goal setting. Like, I think that's like something that when I was younger, I was like, man, whatever. Like, I kind of like laughed at that stuff. Like I was like, man, I don't need to set goals. Da, da, da. But people would always come, like even when I was little, like they would come, do talks at the school, like things like that, and like, man, goal setting is so important. Goal setting is so important. I was like, I never really did it until recently, and I think it's really important just to have like a vision for what you want, and then to write down like the steps to get there. It can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go here, I'm average 30 and I'm gonna boom boom. Like you gotta like just be realistic, and like of course everybody wants to average 20 or more points and be the MVP and win the championship, but man, like it's only gonna be one dude that does that,
yeah.
and everybody playing and everybody's got the same goals. So you just gotta be, have a long-term goals, short-term goals, and then just try to attack them each day. Like, just write everything down. I think that's really important for young guys. And also just for people coaching the young kids, just like to understand the responsibility they have. Like, you're helping shape, boys, then to becoming like men, and just there's like a big responsibility there. And like I'd say like a lot, anybody given their time though, like I respect. You know, it just like to give your time. It's something, you know, time is something you can never get back. You know, just people
Mhm.
invest in their time in the kids. I respect that a lot, you know, but it's just like, you know, let's go like a little step further and just try to show them the ropes and like do your research on like how things are supposed to go, and don't only worry about if they can hoop or not, you know, like worry about, you know, help them um have their grades, you know, right, and just things like that, because it's not only about the sport, you know, there's going to be only a certain amount of guys get to go play college ball, and like then even less get to go pro. So it's just about like, you don't want that kid to ever be like, oh, you steered me wrong, da 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 da, you know. I mean, nobody can ever have the right answers, but just keep it real with kids. And yeah, I mean, that's like my best advice for younger kids and like people just around young kids. Like,
Yeah.
just keep it real with them and just try to guide them on the right path, and just try to, you know, always be a sponge. If you're a player, coach, whatever, don't ever be, you know, Mr. Know-it-all.
Yeah.
Because that's not good. You know, you always got to be learning, developing, no matter how old you are. Like, because things are always changing. Basketball's always changing. Offenses are always, you know, changing. New things, teams, the way they play defense. Like, it just, there's so many things. It's just like always
Mhm.
keep learning, be a sponge, set goals, and just work. Like, work. Like, there's no secret. Nobody can, like, when people are, man, how'd you get your shot like that? Or can you work out my kid? I'm like, yeah, I'll work your kid out. I'm gonna turn the gun on and I'm gonna walk out and be like, hit me when you make 500. You know, like, that's how I got my shot, to where, you know, like a lot of trial and error, and yeah, and try to make your rep, like as far as shooting and everything, just try to, once you warm up, try to go as hard as you can, especially that I've gotten older now. I can't spend like all day in the gym like I did
Yeah.
when I was younger. So it's like, it's got to be like, I warm up, I'm good to go. And then when I'm good to go, it's about 45 minutes to an hour, or maybe like hour and a half of just like going hard, like game speed.
Mhm.
So I think it's just game speed repetitions. I know I said a lot of stuff, but
Nah, but bro,
dude, yeah, yeah,
every single thing you said, man, I agree because
yeah,
the generation now, I feel, a lot of them lost, man. Like when it comes to this game,
yeah,
any sport, I mean, of course, the one thing that's common that you said that I agree with is just you have to work. Period.
mm-hmm.
It's no secret. It's no like secret potion you could like drink or something, like,
Nah,
what I'm
no,
saying. Like,
nah.
it's literally you got to get out there and work, because the time you put in is whatever you put in. If it's the
Yeah,
right thing, you're gonna get the most out of it. I mean, it's plain and simple.
exactly.
Plain and simple.
Exactly.
um,
Exactly. And I do understand some kids too, like, I understand they haven't been shown the way, you know, like, how to work out, you know? So, it just, there's like now, I mean, when I was younger, man, there was like, I don't even know, like YouTube was just starting, you know, when I was in high school, YouTube was just starting, you know, like get popular, but there was no like workouts and stuff. Like, you can just use the technology, you know, like young guys spend so much time on their phone, like just YouTube workouts, follow guys on Instagram. Like, even though, you know, a lot of those guys just put like little, you know, like snippets of the workouts, but like you can get like a 10-second clip, and you can just take what that dude did and then use that. And then if it's like a combo move to a step back, all right, cool. Then I'm gonna just do that to a regular pull up. I'm gonna do that step back too. I'm gonna do that move and then attack the basket. And then you can make a whole bunch of stuff, like just use the technology. Everybody's got, you know, almost everybody's got, you know,
yeah.
iPhones or whatever, smartphones, and you can, man, just like don't just waste so much time like on Instagram, on the, you know, on like the search page, on the browse page, just
Yeah.
scrolling up and just looking, you know, like, it just, use it and write the stuff down and then go to the gym and just work. Like, there's so
Yeah.
much stuff now with technology. You can find so much information online about how to work out and stuff like that, and then just get to
Mhm.
work.
No, I agree, bro. I agree. Another question. Got two more, man. So the next one will
All right.
So, growing up in Canada, I mean, originally, you from Bosnia and stuff like that, but growing
Mm-hmm.
up in Canada, okay, when you're American US kid, what I'm saying, you have these athletes or somebody that you just like idolize and you look up to. So growing up there, who was that maybe one athlete or just person? I mean, it didn't even have to be an athlete that really motivated you to even get that work ethic in your mind. Like, man, I just want to work for everything I got. You know what I'm saying? What one
Mm-hmm.
person was that?
Man, I gotta give a few names. So I'd say the first person, as far as like the work ethic, um, or the first people are my parents. You know, just like coming to a different country, and like, you know, the older I've gotten, you know, you're an immigrant. Like, you know, my dad, He was like doing really well, you know, like in Yugoslavia. Like, you know, he owned like cafes, you know, pubs and stuff like that. He's a former professional soccer player, and you know, he lost everything, you know. So we went to Canada with like basically nothing, like, and just to see, you know, they can barely speak English, and you know, like, man, like looking back, like, you know, I didn't miss meals, you know, like, I don't even know how they made it work, like, you know. So I think I just got the work ethic from my parents. Like, it's just like, man, my dad still works hard, you know? So it's like, even when I go home and I'm around him, I'm like, damn, this dude, like, I can't let him, you know, like in the summers when I'm there, I'm like, I can't let him get up and go to work before me. Like, that's just like my thing, you know? Or like, you know, like I want to play basketball, and he's got like a painting business. So I'm like, you know, they paint houses and stuff and like flip houses, him and his friends. So it's like, but I'm like, whoa, like if I wake up and he's gone to work and he's going to paint and I'm trying to, you know, make it as a professional athlete, like I got to step my game up. So I'd say my parents, and then like Allen Iverson really is like the person that made me fall in love with basketball. That's like the guy I, you know, just like that was like my first basketball, I guess you could say. And then like I would say Kobe Bryant for sure. Like I would say that's like the dude who, you know, you always hear all the stories about how hard he works. And that's when I was like, man, like I really gotta, like, this is what this dude does, you know, like. And so that's like the dude. So those three, like my parents, you know, AI made me fall in love with the game, and just, you know, that's like the reason why I started playing basketball. And then like as far as basketball and just like the workouts and stuff like that, Kobe for sure. Um, I mean, I know a lot of guys can, you know, are gonna say Kobe too. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, he was just different.
No, he was, man.
Yeah,
He was,
yeah,
bro. Like, you already know that was my favorite player ever, bro.
yeah, for
So
sure,
I always looked up to him, man. And it was, you know, RIP to the mama, man. It was a sad
man.
way, you know, that thing, that situation, man. But that's dope, man. You know, you say your parents too, bro. Cause for me it's the same. Like
Hmm.
always seeing them grind, man. And just basically give me any and everything that I possibly could think of, or just try to the best of their
Hmm.
ability. That forced me to, all right, well,
Yeah,
what you want to do, well, you got to do it to, you know, that degree, even though they were in different professions, you know. So
yep,
I definitely agree.
exactly.
I agree, bro.
And even a thing too, like I'm a like I would go work out when I was going. I'd be like because in Vancouver when I'm home, like you got to get up early, you got to get in the gym. Like there's a gym like I got a secret location, so you got to get in there at 6 a.m. It's from 6 to 8 a.m. And but later in the day it's like packed, right? So it's like if you want to get your work in that city, like you got to go early. So I was going like, you know, get my coffee or whatever. It'd be like 6:15, 6:20, and like, man, there's like 20 construction workers in the coffee shop. And the same thing with my dad. I'm like, man, bro, they're going to work construction. I'm like, I have to be like, I can't be in there with 20 of these dudes. Like, you know, I understand one or two might be in there, but I'm like, I gotta be at the gym like when that door opens, I have to be walking in. I can't be leaving my house at 6, you know, stop real quick, get my espresso, and then, you know, and then be at the gym, you know, 6:30, start my workout. You know, I'm like, man, I got to beat these dudes. So it's like, man, you just got to look at stuff like if you want to be all the kids, man, if you want to make it, man, you can't let nothing against people, you know, work construction or whatever they're doing. But it's like, man, if you're trying to make it, and then, you know, like the chances of you making it pro as a basketball player is so slim. And then these guys are construction workers, you know, and I'm not saying anybody can go be a construction worker, but your chance of becoming a construction worker is way higher than being a professional athlete. But if they're waking up and they're beating you, you know, to be up and at work, like it's like, man, you gotta.
Yeah, you
But
got to
and
do
also
more.
yeah, you gotta do more. But I mean, and also if you have like gym availability or whatever, like, you know, you can get in the gym whenever you want and you can get your work in too. You don't gotta be up at 6 or whatever, right? Like it's like if you gotta get your rest, and if you're not like, you know, like a morning person, and that's understandable too. But I mean, when you go to work, you gotta work. Like so.
No, I agree, man.
Yeah.
We got just one more question, man.
All
So
right.
everybody has lists, everybody has top this, top that. So you know what I'm saying?
I've been dreading this.
Yeah, right. So what's your five, bro? Only five. It don't have to be certain positions, just, you know, but start from five. You go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, man. Just give me your five of all time.
NBA all
It,
time,
it could be
man.
NBA, or it could be, you know, you could even put some Europeans in there, you know, because I know you're
Yeah,
familiar
it's
more.
gotta be NBA. It's gotta be NBA. All right. Man, I don't even know who the 5 and the 4 are. I got my first 3. The first 3 is Mike, Kobe, and I got to put Shaq at third, just because Shaq, like, man, like, most dominant player of all time. Like, it's just like no human being could, man, you can't physically, no human being could do nothing with him. Like, it just like, yeah, I put Mike first. Just, you got to, man, 6 for 6. You got the titles. You got the numbers. I put Kobe second. Maybe that's just bias in my opinion. That's just my favorite player, and I just feel like, he's like a second version of Mike. 5 championships. I mean, I don't want to catch flack and say maybe he was more skilled than Mike, as far as like he could really shoot the 3, like, and then just Shaq the third because, yeah, like I said, most dominant. And then 4 and 5, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to put like 5th. I'm gonna put LeBron at 5. 4 is like, I don't know, a toss up. Like, I'm thinking like Bird, maybe Magic, maybe Hakeem. I don't know, but I would put LeBron at 5, and then 4. I don't know, man. Maybe say Bird.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
just because some of the stuff I seen, like the video. I mean, man, the dude was a dog. Like,
he was a
he was,
problem.
yeah. So, and then same with like Hakeem. Like, even when people talk about like a lot of all-time greats, man, I'd say he's the least mentioned all-time great. Like, that dude's footwork, bro. When I watched his highlights, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like Kobe got his footwork from Hakeem, like, and this dude was like, 7 foot plus, like, doing that. Like, it just, man, if you
dominate.
haven't watched like Hakeem's highlights, bro, watch Hakeem's highlights. Like, who has not watched Hakeem Olajuwon highlight, you have to watch them. Like, it'll just like, I mean, I watched him play. I caught him in the when they won the championship with Houston. But I never just, I was young, so I couldn't fully remember. So like one day I just like, oh man, I just want to, see. So boom, put on a bunch of highlights, and I was like, yo, this dude was incredible. Like,
Oh yeah.
so
That's why so many guys go see him, though. That's why so many guys go see him, because if you notice, the young generation pop up every now and again. Some of these superstars, they in the gym with him.
Yes, exactly. And that should tell you a lot, right? It's like, oh man, I gotta go get my my footwork, or I'm gonna go see Hakeem. Like, it should just that should speak volumes to how great he was. Like, but yeah, it's top 5s are hard, man. There's no perfect top 5. No matter what you do, people might comment under this and say, man, what?
Hey, look, man, mine was a little similar too, because
yeah,
I had Shaq 5, Magic 4, then I had Bron, Kobe, and Mike 1. And I've never been a Bron fan, bro. But
yeah, me neither. I'm not.
But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like,
yeah,
the stuff he been doing for the longevity and how long he been doing it, and then also like with him, man, I look at him more than just a basketball player too, because he do so much.
Exactly.
So he got the whole, like, as far as total package, he might be the greatest ever as far as like the total package, as far as the impact on the youth and how much he's in the community and doing stuff for his stuff back home and all the foundations and just putting his homies, put all his homies on. Like, that's crazy to think about, bro.
Exactly.
Like, all his
no,
homies,
it is for real.
So
it really is.
That's why I gave him a nod up there and put him at 3. But like you said, you can't go wrong. I mean, you can't go wrong at all.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, like the total package thing and putting all his friends on, I think since then a lot of guys are doing like, like kind of what he does. I think just a long time ago, it just wasn't like I don't know, like in the 90s, that wasn't like the mentality. And I don't think they weren't getting checks like they are now, guys are just so more like, their mind just so more like just business evolved and stuff than they were, like 20, 30 years ago. And just like, you just like pick up stuff from the guys before and then add on. And I think, yeah, man, the total package for sure, man. I definitely respect him. As an athlete, basketball player, human being, like, he definitely just truly leads by example, like, for real. Like, I really, he catches a lot of flack, like, he don't, a lot of times he passed up, certain shots or whatever. But I mean, he's a team player, so he's always been a team player, like, and yeah, man, I really, I respect him a lot of respect for him.
Nah, hey, same here, man. Hey, bro, like I appreciate you coming through, man, and coming
Man,
on, man.
man, thanks for having me on, for real.
Of course, bro. I said, man, I gotta get the sniper, baby. I gotta get my boy, man,
Man,
my backcourt mate. Definitely had to get you on, man. And appreciate you sharing your story and a bunch of gems, man, for these young kids or just anybody that's listening that's playing pro, that's just starting out, maybe a rookie.
yeah.
Definitely like I said, appreciate you and stay safe, man, and continue to, grind like you've been doing. And, I always got your back 100, bro.
Thank you, bro. You too. Yeah, man, just you too stay safe and, take care of yourself and your family. Keep that body healthy. I know you're working, so I wish you a repeat of this season, championship again, and another MVP season, bro, for real.
Hopefully, man. Hey, appreciate it, man. So I do a little saying at the end. The people that listen, they know exactly what it is. I just be like, let it fly, baby. And that's how we roll
All
out.
right. All right.
All right, bro.
All right.
Thanks, man.
All right. Let it fly, baby.
Yeah. All right.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
You're listening to the L.I.F podcast with Pat.